A week ago, Blizzard announced huge changes for Hearthstone in the upcoming year. The Hearthstone devs also had some Q&A on Twitter, clearing up a few things that were not in the original announcement. Hello, this is Jonius here, and let's talk about the new core set and classic format coming to Hearthstone. Let's break down all the new changes so you can be prepared.
You are not prepared!
Thanks, Ilion. So when the Year of the Dragon sets rotate out of standard in the upcoming months, more than that is going to change. That's right, the basic and classic sets are being replaced by a new core set of 235 cards. This set will be free. Yes, it'll be free to all players, and it'll make it more accessible for new and returning players to get into Hearthstone. There'll be a new core set every year, so basically the old cards that are rotating out will be automatically swapped in with new ones in your collection. So let's have a look at the breakdown of the core set from 2021. We see the cards returning from Classic, Basic, and Wild. You have 88 cards from Classic, 54 cards from the Basic set, and 55 cards will be from other Wild sets from the past. Then you have 29 brand new cards entering the core set. You also have a couple of cards from Ashes of Outland and Initiate set for Demon Hunter, as well as one card returning from the Hall of Fame, which is Shadow Form. Here is the table form of the core set 2021 breakdown. You'll be able to earn core set cards as you level up. The core set class cards can be earned as you level up each class from level 1 to level 10, the same way you unlock the basic cards. The neutral cards, you'll be able to unlock these when you have your combined total level from level 1 to level 60. So for example, you only need to level 6 classes to level 10, and then you already have a combined level of level 60. So you unlock all the neutral cards there. So you can earn the golden versions of the core set cards by completing achievements for winning games with each class. So something like this. This counts your total ranked wins of each class. For example, if you already have 500 wins with Rogue, then you're going to be able to unlock all the golden core legendaries for Rogue. Alternatively, if you actually own the cards, like you opened from a pack or you crafted it, you can use that as well. So let's talk about the legacy set. We're taking the existing basic and classic from standard mode and the existing Hall of Fame cards, which are the old classic cards that were retired, and we are now putting them into a legacy set. With the small exception of 6 cards from the Hall of Fame, the Baku and Gen cards, they're now going back to where they originally were in the Witchwood set, so you'll be able to open them in Witchwood packs again. And likewise with the legacy set, you'll be able to open Classic and the remaining Hall of Fame cards in the Classic packs. A little bit more on the details of the Classic packs later. At rotation, if your account has unlocked Wild, the Basic and the Golden Basic cards, as well as the regular Demon Hunter Initiate cards, you'll have them unlocked for free. Most players you have unlocked them, but for new and returning players, you just need to unlock Wild after this rotation. Now, let's talk about the Classic format. This is a new format. You'll be able to compete using Hearthstone's original cards as they were in 2014. Or basically all previous nerfs, unnerfed cards. So you have 240 cards from Classic and 143 from Basic in the 2014 versions. When the patch for the next expansion releases, this is usually like 5 to 7 days before you can play with the new expansion cards, you'll be able to start deck building in your collection. Classic decks for the format. Cards in the Classic format will be as they were of the 1.0.0.5832 patch of June 2014. This is basically after they made the Unleash the Hounds cost from 2 to 3, so Unleash the Hounds will be 3 mana as it is today. But many cards will be different. You'll have Warsong Commander can give minions charge. Holy Smite can go face. Leroy Jenkins will cost 4 mana. And Coin Innovate Yeti is actually going to be a good play. Poggers. So, about the Classic packs. you may have some questions about the classic packs and what cards they will open before and after rotation. So before rotation, they can contain the newer classic cards that were added later on. Basically, when they rotated cards into Hall of Fame, they later added new cards to the classic set. So these are the cards that were later added to the classic set. You have the couple of priest cards and extra cards such as like Brightwing and High Inquisitor Whitemane for legendaries, Siegebreaker, Righteousness, that sort of thing. After rotation, the classic packs will no longer contain these newer classic cards. You will no longer be able to open these. You need to craft these if you want some of these. But the classic packs will include the former Hall of Fame cards, the Hall of Fame cards that will now go to the Legacy set. So I would say if you're missing these cards more, open your packs before rotation. If you're missing more of the former Hall of Fame cards, which I'll show on the next page, save your packs until after rotation. So here are the former Hall of Fame cards that will now be able to be opened in classic packs after rotation. There's the case of ETC and Gelber Mechatalk. From my understanding, I don't think these will be openable in classic packs, but apparently will be part of the classic format, so you'll craft them instead. There's a couple of former Hall of Fame cards that used to be basic. They were basic and then they were moved to Hall of Fame. For some reason, they'll still stay common rarity, even though you should be able to get them for free. If not, they're commons, you can just craft them. Then if you really need them, like let's say Vanish, you could use it in Wild. Northshire Cleric is always a good card in Priest to have in your collection. You'll also be able to earn Old Murkai and Captain's Parrot again. These ones you may be able to open them in the classic packs because they will be part of classic and the classic format. But I would say don't, because you can just earn them. You should be able to earn them the same way as you used to. Then you have a Baku and Gen cards, as I said before. The 6 of them, they will return to the Witchwood set, and you'll be able to open them in Witchwood packs. So here's a big question some of you may be wondering. Will I be able to disenchant my classic cards and keep the wild versions in the Legacy set? No, you will not. Your classic copy counts the same as your wild one in your collection, but they will appear differently. So here's an example. Leroy Jenkins. You have classic format, 4 mana. Wild Legacy set, 5 mana. If I were to dust my classic version of Leroy, I would also lose my wild version. So be wary of that. I would say don't disenchant Leroy because, yeah, you could use them. There's a couple of quirks with the moving of the classic set to the Legacy format. You have Xavius and Illidan. So basically, Celestion is confirmed. Xavius will appear as Illidan in Classic. So basically, in Wild, it will appear as Xavius, but in Classic, you should get the original Illidan Stormrage. There's a slight difference between the 2-1 Satyr and a 2-1 Flamer Azanoth. Because the Satyr is, I believe, a demon, and the Flamer Azanoth is an elemental. So yeah, you will be able to see the Illidan in his full glory before he became the face of the Demon Hunter class. However, cosmetic changes will remain. So they changed the art on some of the cards. And in the case of Fellstalker, Fellstalker will not revert to Succubus. So that means like cards like Deadly Shot and Headcrack, which change the card art, they'll probably keep the card art. I don't see that changing. As part of the release of the new core set and classics format, we're getting more deck slots, increasing from 18 to 27. Been asking for more deck slots for years, and we're finally getting 9 more. Along with rotation, about 30 cards are getting unnerfed, as said by Alec Dawson. And then one of the questions is like Zephyrus. So Zephyrus should still work the same way. It will give you cards from basic and classic and the newer classic cards, but not the former Hall of Fame cards. So that, as the thing, you won't be able to pull a Naturalize or a Ragnaros or something whenever you need it, unless they change that. Okay, there's a lot of things happening. So let's put this on a timeline. On the 9th of February, the core set and classic format was announced on playhearthstone.com. On the 19th of February will be the BlizzCon Online. This is basically the big event of the year. They delayed it because of the COVID pandemic. Basically, you'll know all the details from all the Blizzard games for the year. And we're likely to see the next expansion revealed and some teasers about the new cards in the core set. So that is the day to watch out for. Then a couple days later, the whole core set will be revealed online on playhearthstone.com, and early deck building should be available. Then we go to the expansion, where we don't know the release date yet, but we are estimating late March or early April. A couple days before that, when the patch releases, the classic format deck building will be available, and then on the day one of expansion, the core set will be live, the rotation will be live, the classic format will be live, and we will be able to play with our classic decks. So that's it for now. I'll likely post an update video when we get all the information from the BlizzCon Online and all about the new expansion, and we get more dates and details. But this is to inform you of the huge new changes coming to Hearthstone, making it more accessible for players to return and start playing. And if you have a couple of friends who stop playing and you want to give them like an overview, you can link them to this video, and this should hopefully explain all the important stuff that is coming up. Anyone who plays Hearthstone, who doesn't follow the Hearthstone blog or the dev posts on Twitter and Reddit and such, then this can also be helpful. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, the discussion, or just the ideas I talked about, go ahead and leave a like, and maybe you can subscribe so you know when I release videos like this in the future.